Hi, my name is Rakashay, and welcome to Stush Reads. This segment on my channel will consist of me reviewing fictional books from my bookshelf. These reviews are spoiler free, so you don't have to worry about major details about the book to be revealed to you if you want to get this book yourself. I will rate this book using 3 different categories. You have plot, characters, and themes. Each category is marked out of 5 stars, therefore the book will be totaled out of 15 stars and it will have an average score of 5 stars. The Salt Lose Her Savior is the 3rd book by Colleen Smith Dennis, and it is for those who are highly traumatized and are trying to make their lives anew. I got this book at the Jamaica Expo in 2016, and I even remember trying to read this book while taking the bus home because I was just so eager to read it. Deirdre Lentworth is a popular student at school, dubbed the Salt that savors everything until the night of the school barbecue, where she was brutally raped and beaten. The book follows Deirdre as she's left with the trauma of that night, with her family and unexpected strangers to help her through it. The plot is interesting. The book is told in the 3rd person view, so you're reading the thought process of all the characters, and the book will shift focus to another character. The pacing is great, however, the book's resolution is so rushed I am left with a few unanswered questions. The book, I just believe, needs a few extra pages or even a few chapters to clean up those loose ends, but it's still enjoyable. I will rate each character based on 3 different categories. First, we have development, then writing, then my personal favorite, the Jankro category. The characters in this book are written good, however, about halfway through the book, things get pretty sticky from a writing perspective for some characters, especially with Ashley and Miss Lentworth, but I will get further into that in this section. First, we have Deirdre Lentworth. Deirdre is the main character of the book. When we first meet her, she's very friendly, confident, bubbly, and optimistic. After her assault, she becomes paranoid, hopeless, and reserved as she deals with her trauma. Throughout the book, she is working through her trauma while finding a bit of faith in humanity and herself. Her resolution is pretty rushed, so I felt the extra pages I mentioned earlier could have helped with this issue and other plot lines. Next, we have Miss Carmelita Lentworth. She's Deirdre's mother. She's raising her 2 daughters after her husband leaves. She's very supportive and caring and is instrumental in helping Deirdre throughout her trauma. She does what she thinks can best help Deirdre, and as a reader, you can feel her stress and sadness throughout the ordeal. I do think partway through the book, the plot doesn't do much with her, and I find that to be quite unfortunate. Next, we have Ashley Lentworth. She is Deirdre's older sister and a university student. She is supportive in helping Deirdre after her ordeal. Ashley is considered a selfless character and she tries to help her sister in the best way possible. Ashley does try her best to keep the 3 women together, especially since she's willing to do something neither her sister nor her mother would do. Now, I do have a couple of issues with her character, which is her not being used for at least one particular chapter. And like Carmelita, the book doesn't really have her much do of anything. Basically, I think around, say, like much later on specifically. Next, we have Nathan, Carmelita's cousin, who's a detective in charge of Deirdre's case. As per his job, he's absorbent, authoritative, and smart. Nathan is a good character. He's the one who mostly places the mysteries within the book together nicely. My issue with him is that he was used unnecessarily for 1 chapter. Next, we have Miss Nellie. She's an elderly woman who takes in and cares for the various young people she encounters. She helps Deirdre and shows her a different way of life by sharing her Christian practices. At first, I pondered for a bit, wondering about her purpose in the plot, However, I interpret her role as showing unconditional kindness to Deirdre without knowing her full story. Especially with Deirdre at one point saying, quote, "I will never forget her and Slinky's kindness." Finally, we have Slinky. He's a street boy whom Deirdre gives money to and decides to return her kindness by taking her to Miss Nellie after she was attacked in a later chapter. Like Miss Nellie, while I struggle with his purpose, he shows unconditional kindness to Deirdre in a time of need. The first theme we have is trauma. Deirdre's experience haunts her throughout the book as she constantly has nightmares. The trauma also changes her personality as well as her perspective on life. There are even questions about whether Deirdre will be back to her old self as she lives and heals from her trauma. Next, we have mental illness. Deirdre's mental health took a very dark turn to the point she was sent to a psychiatric hospital. Deirdre also has fears regarding how people will judge her mental health and the various labels regarding her health condition. Next, we have religion from a Christian view. Miss Nellie shares her Christian way of life with Deirdre, such as going to church, praying, and reading her Bible. I think the book could have delved more into this theme, but the rushed resolution doesn't get this theme fully realized. Next, we have community. Ashley and Mrs. Lindbergh try to help Deirdre throughout her trauma. Nathan takes the case of what happened to Deirdre, and members of Deirdre's extended family was vital in getting her back to school. Miss Nellie and Slinky supported her in a time of need and uncertainty in her life. Finally, we have hope. Deirdre's constant paranoid thoughts are a contrast to other characters who try to give her a hopeful perspective on life, which clearly influenced Deirdre throughout the book. To conclude, The Salt Loses Her Savor is a story that captures the experience of survivors trying to process their trauma and make their lives anew. So if you're interested in reading that kind of story, then this book is for you. Thanks for watching this video.